never know what you're going to get. Welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. And joining us now is our friend Susan Ferrechio, Chief Congressional Correspondent for the Washington Examiner. Hey, Susan, how are you?
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. Thanks for taking the time. As was the case last time we spoke, they just left the podium, the Democrats, that is, and Nancy Pelosi saying that the House is now the House Republicans are sabotaging any kind of deal and any effort to reach an agreement. It appears that, from what I could gather from that little press briefing there, that all and they just came out of the White House, so all the president and the Democrats in the House will agree to is a clean debt ceiling and a clean government reopening. I mean, that sounds like that's all they want.
Well, that's what they want. I'm not sure if that's what they're going to get. I know that the House Republicans have put together a plan that they're going to take up potentially by tonight that would extend the debt ceiling to February and fund the government through December. And it would include an amendment that would eliminate the health care subsidies for congressional staffers and I believe White House employees as well under the new health care law. And it would also strike out one of the Democrats had been hoping to put in the bill, which would have exempted union members from the reinsurance tax under the health care law. So they've kind of reconfigured, the Republicans have reconfigured their plan from earlier this morning.
That tax,
a lot of the Obamacare stuff.
Right, that tax would come out. That union, the exemption for the tax for unions would come out, so they would have to pay it.
That's right.
Yeah.
They would leave in the medical device tax, and they would leave in the amendment that would require people who seek health insurance subsidies must have their income verified. That's kind of interesting. I'm just thinking out loud here, but today I wonder if the Republican plan here is they know they're not going to win over their base, so they're going to back it down a little and try to pick up Democrats. I mean, what they want to do is they want to pass something in the House that at least Republicans tell me that the Senate can't say no to. I don't think they're really going to go for a bill that the Senate will just say no to. They want to send something that will put pressure on them. And Republicans in the Senate seem to be going along with this. They're siding with the House now to go first on it. And one lawmaker just came out of a leadership meeting and told us he thought they could vote by tonight on this plan I just told you about. But again, it hasn't gone to the Rules Committee yet. And that's a big deal. Once it goes to the Rules Committee, we get a real look at what this thing is. And the details can change just because there's just so much flux and disagreement. But I think what they decided, I know some of the conservatives went in there and asked for a shorter time frame on raising the debt limit.
All right, so the debt limit would be...
That was rejected.
Okay, so the bill as you see it, I just want to be clear, debt limit, debt ceiling to February, government reopen till December?
December 15th, and that would coincide with the deadline for the December 15th. Of course, now this is all sequester levels at $986 billion, but it coincides with the deadline that the House and the Senate would establish for coming up with a brand new long-term budget plan. Remember, they want to get together,
right.
They want to work out entitlement spending. This is the lure for Republicans. The Republicans say, we just want to get to the table and negotiate real spending reforms. That's what that December 15th is about. That makes forms a conference committee, gets the budget sides together, House Ways and Means, Senate Finance. They work out a deal that has tax reform, which Republicans like very much, entitlement reform that Republicans like very much, but don't forget, Democrats' main objective will be what? You know what? It will be restoring the sequester cuts. So they're both at odds about what the ultimate goal of this December 15th deadline on a budget deal would be. But I think both sides like the idea of sitting down and going after their separate objectives, and they are separate and different.
But let me also make so the medical device tax eliminating
gone.
that or postponing that would be gone.
Yep.
Now the taking the subsidies away from congressional staffers, that would be in there.
Yes, staffers, congressmen.
Okay.
And I believe
White House employees. Right. And the exemption, the union exemption, so they would not have to pay the tax, that would be gone, so they would have to pay the tax, correct?
That's right.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
the Republicans want everyone to be on a level playing field when it comes to health care law. They say,
Right.
okay, we're not going to repeal any part of this health care law. Let's make it so we are all under.
I just heard Klobuchar on CNN during the commercial break before I came on with you saying, you have these $25,000 a year employees, kids coming here, some of them fighting for adoption rights, and now you're going to take away their health care. So, I don't know. I don't know what Harry Reid. I could see Harry Reid not bringing anything to the floor for a vote. Now, when you say that Boehner, wants to get some Democrats involved too. Will Boehner bring up something? I mean, if push comes to shove, will Boehner bring up a bill that Tea Partiers won't go for, but he knows Democrats will, and they could pass it?
It depends what the ratio is, Steve. If it's not a bad ratio, he would do it. If it's a bad ratio, I don't think he would do it. One of my colleagues are telling me that Pelosi just said there's not going to get any Democrats, but I'm not sure she knows what's in this yet. You know what I mean? I'm not entirely sure that she knows what the latest is, because this plan has been changing all day long. It's like I said, as we even talk right now, it's in flux. The Rules Committee has not gavelled in yet. So it's going to be a couple hours until you even see that, and then they'll get to it tonight. So, it's really changing. Even what I described to you right now, it could change.
Right.
They need 218. Democrats aren't going to help. It does seem that way, even though I was thinking, well, geez, this could be moderate enough to pick up a couple of those. But I'm just trying to figure out how they're going to get the Republicans because, I think that they've disappointed a lot of conservatives by taking out all the Obamacare language. I got to tell you,
if I'm John Boehner, here's what I do right now. And no, I can't do it because then I'll lose my speakership. But here's what I would do. I would say, look, this president is he's just not giving. He is willing. He's the first president ever to let Americans suffer, to let the possibility of chaos ensue, to keep out an agreement that 67 or 77 senators already said they favor, and that's the medical tax device. Since we're dealing with a man who doesn't care about the American people, who doesn't care about, I would really go on and spell out the differences and spell out what Clinton did and spell out what Reagan did and spell out what Obama's willing to do nothing and just say, so here's the clean bill, and this is your president, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, they could say they won and we caved, but we caved for the good of America and for the American people. But remember this when voting time comes, et cetera, because otherwise, I don't think Obama cares if we reach the default and go over that so-called cliff. I don't think he cares.
Well, I think that the Republicans told me this morning. A lot of them feel like they've got everyone. They're outnumbered by the Senate, the White House, and the media. And they also feel like the ball is in their court. Time is running out. Pressure is on. They need to be circumspect. They need to figure out what can give them leverage, what can pass, what can get them to 2014 with a House and a Senate, both in the Republican Party. And that is what the thinking is, even amongst the most conservative members. But that I don't know if we're going to get that same answer out of Jim Jordan. I know Steve King of Iowa was saying, forget it. I know Joe Barton, I talked to at length last night, was saying, I don't like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any changes. There's the problem is they have a 17 vote margin. They could easily lose 17 on this. I actually am a little bit mystified. So I think what their idea is to tell Republicans, hey, you guys, the plan you hated is going to pass the Senate anyway. Here's one they can't say no to. It's
right.
One you'll hate even more, but
right.
if you'll just go along with it, it forces the Senate's hand.
Yeah, well,
are you following my logic, Steve? This is how it works up here.
I know. It's insane. And like you said, the whole thing, when we say goodbye, the whole thing could change. All right, listen, Susan, I appreciate it very much. We'll speak to you soon. Keep up the good work.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
All right, take care. Susan.